everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. Today we have a really, really exciting episode because we are getting into the nitty-gritty of mental health, about mental health, community, and navigating loneliness and self-discovery in your 20s, which is a podcast episode that we have not done yet. And we are joined here by Daniela and Mary.
Hi.
Hello. So before we start, we'll do a little intro so you guys kind of know who Daniela and Mary are. Daniela and I went to high school together, and we were also bridesmaids in one of our best friends' wedding, Melissa Kucha. And I'll let you kind of just introduce yourself and who you are, what you're about.
Yeah, of course. So I'm Daniela. I'm a running enthusiast. For a long time, actually, I was running by myself. And then I started getting more into run clubs where I met Mary as well, actually. So now I just kind of advocate for all movement, whatever makes you happy, and living overall a healthy lifestyle.
Love it. Okay, then we have Mary, who, if you guys are OG listeners, she was on the podcast like
5 years ago.
no, not 5 years ago.
No, it was 5 years ago.
It almost feels like another lifetime. Like it doesn't even right?
It was before I even got married and had a baby.
Yeah.
Way before.
Way before that.
Anyways, let's do a little intro. Like, tell us who you are. Tell the audience who you are, what you do.
Hi, my name's Mary. I'm a Toronto mental health advocate, and I'm all about advocating for youth mental health, women's mental health, men's mental health, and all about the wellness and really trying to advocate what wellness really means when it comes to mental health and trying to understand the new buzzwords so people can really comprehend mental health, mental illness, and wellness all together.
Yeah,
we're going to get into that.
All together, our mission here today is to have like an ultimate, relatable, real AF chat about mental health, but not only that, how community, because like it's kind of weird how full circle everything is. Like we went to high school together, obviously we're friends, but then Mary we like connected with years ago, and now you're back on, and then you guys know each other through Run Club. And everything is so full circle, and we have the podcast who like we have fostered this community that's online, but it's just weird how everything's connected. Like
And
it's
I feel
weird.
like it's perfect because we all like, even though we're interconnected, we all like have very different communities like of our own, within each other. So this is perfect. But let's get into it.
Okay.
So we always like to, start with our little weekly updates. Anything happening from the week that was chaotic or funny, a hot take, anything?
Product faves.
I actually oddly have a lot that happened this week.
Oh,
Okay.
Not oddly, because I feel like I do pack my schedule minute to minute. But anyway, so I went to last Friday, so a week ago, I went to Mel Robbins, and then I went to go watch her show. And then on Wednesday, I went to Jay Shetty. So we have a lot of things to talk about.
Okay.
Oh my God, I
before
love
you get
that.
into that, not to pin Jay Shetty and Mel Robbins against each other, but who did you enjoy better?
I get this question. It's been 2 days, but I know this question
like 20 people
a
have asked me
million times. Okay, so I think Mel Robbins is super relatable. I described it as she feels like an extended family friend. Like it was they felt like, because she brought her 2 daughters on stage. So it felt like it was so cool. And they were just completely authentic. She talked a lot about her path and how she got to where she was. And it was just her and her daughters had banter on stage. So they felt very relatable. Versus Jay Shetty, who is so hot in person.
Really?
Oh my God.
Interesting.
Anyway, we were all like, oh.
Those eyes probably pierced through the whole audience.
Exactly. He was more spiritual, of course, because he was a monk. But the second he started, you could feel his presence. Like one of the first questions he asked was, so everybody was sitting down, of course, and he was like, stand up if you feel like you're judged every time you walk into a room. And to start an entire night that is just right away people have to be vulnerable.
Powerful, yeah.
Yes. So those were my differences.
Very interesting. I can't believe I didn't know any of them were coming to town. Was it advertised? I guess if you watch
It
them or
was
listen to them,
on
right?
his podcast too. It was advertised that he was doing a tour, right?
Yeah. I also, just side note, I feel like I never know when people are coming to town until they're in concert.
There, yeah.
Literally.
I know.
You see on Ticketmaster.
Yeah.
We're going to Jonas Brothers. That's
Oh my God.
and we have close tickets this
We're
time.
gonna see Joe
And
sweat.
we're
all over his
we are
face.
running through that crowd to meet Joe Jonas, because I swear to God, we've been going to the concert since we were
Yeah, 12.
12 years old, but we've always been sitting in the back. Now that we have big girl money, we can we can go and get the front row ticket. I'm you need to notice us. Anyways,
That is it's a lot that happened in 1 week. Okay, how about you?
Now I learned to crawl this week, which is exciting.
oh my God, stop.
Exciting. So it's been an emotional roller coaster for myself because I'm not ready for it to grow up.
She's so cute.
She's so cute.
I know, but she looks so much like Sean. Like she looks nothing like.
I don't know what your husband looks like, but
I'll show you guys
I
pictures
think
after.
she looks like you.
Really?
Your dimple. She has her dimples.
Yeah, my
1000%.
dimples, but like the rest, the demeanor, it's all him.
Interesting.
Like I took 9 months to, you know.
I know. It's like it
Baker,
comes
yeah.
out as like.
Did you know? Like as if I'm a scientist. Apparently, babies like when they're first born,
Yes,
they look like their dad because
So that way the dad doesn't kill them. It's in the
Exactly.
animal kingdom.
What?
Yes.
It's in the animal kingdom.
Yes, it's the animal kingdom. Yes. That is actually the first thing that my husband told me after I gave birth. I was like,
You're like, just hold on a sec.
stellar.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. How about
Yeah. So they basically have them look just like the dad, so that way the dad doesn't like
I think it's like
well,
a
if you think about like a lion, like that would make sense. But like
technically, which is why, like example, like in I believe it's in the Judaism religion, the child is that religion based on the mother, not the
Yes.
father.
Yes.
Solely on the fact only the mother really knows who the
Yeah.
father is.
Yeah.
interesting.
Technically, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
Yeah, there's some weird stuff that I you know.
No, but that's so cute.
Anyway, so Nala.
Yeah, she did it wrong.
Okay, cool. How about you?
I actually don't have for the first time in a long time. I fractured my foot. I think it's fractured. I have to go to the hospital right after this podcast. So
Oh shit.
that's where I'm going.
I don't think it's
tonight.
fractured if you're walking.
I'm not walking on it though. Do you see how big it is? It looks like it's bloated.
What happened?
Soccer. Someone stepped on it. But anyways,
Why'd
that's
you
my
wait till today?
because I'm just type B as fuck. That's literally that. How about you?
You know those weeks when like so much shit happens that I don't even know what I did this week. It like Monday to Friday went by like this, and we can probably talk about this more in this episode too about how like you pack your week with so many things that sometimes it gets overwhelming because you want to go. That
Like
was
merges.
like I'm like up to here by the end of the week. You know, I'm just like, oh my god, I'm drowning. So that's how I feel right now. I can't even remember if I had any hot takes. This
That
week,
couldn't
so.
be more relatable.
Yeah, like it's something. But anyways, okay, let's get into it. We're gonna do a little mental health check-in. Like Fran said at the beginning of the episode, like we're trying to just be more vulnerable, and like some of the stuff like personally that like I thought about talking about makes me sweat thinking about like
I
talking about
know.
it on camera in front of, not that I don't know you guys really well, like I do, like I know you guys, but like I don't even say these things out loud to like my friends. But in the effort of like the podcast and our mission, we're gonna talk about it.
To preface that, I feel like I've also held off on the things I want to talk about in this podcast episode because you know how people are. Like people will take something and like share it and send it, and then like I have an ego, so like I'm not gonna lie, I do. I have an ego sometimes when it's like I don't want people to perceive that and think that like I'm not doing well or I'm, you know, in a bad spot. Whereas like that's not a really good mentality to have because the whole premise of this podcast is to be real and open. So I am also going to be sharing some things that I have not spoken about and probably wouldn't have, but here we are.
Cool. So we're gonna go around the room and talk about how each of us has felt our mental health has changed with age. I want to call out like your story as well because you're very inspirational. And I think about like the last time you shared your story on our podcast, like I was so weird. Not that sounds so weird. I was gonna say I was thinking about you in the shower, but I was in the shower
Thank you.
and I was like thinking about it, and it was and it was making me emotional because I was like, wow, she literally like you just shared your story like so vulnerable and like
Yeah.
it empowers so many people and like. I don't know. I just, if you want to get into it, just like very briefly, like,
Of course.
like of how you got to where you were. And I know you talked about now you're a mother. So like so much has changed.
It's been it's been a fucking wild ride. Being pregnant sucked.
I know you,
And that's
you
relatable.
said that in the group chat. And I
Yeah.
was like, I feel like a lot of people probably feel that way.
Fucking sucked. I'll be honest with you. Fucking, I'm like, listen, I love Nala. She is my everything.
Mhm.
She is the person I'd go to jail for. 100, 110%, no fucking questions asked. The 9 months that I was pregnant, I thought I was gonna go to jail. I was losing my fucking mind. My body was changing. And everyone's like, oh, it's a miracle. Listen, I get that it is, but when I can't fucking tie my shoes anymore, it's not a goddamn miracle. It's now a headache.
Yeah.
The fact that I can't walk more than 5 steps because I'm it really messed with my mind hormonally. I'll be honest with you, it sucks. The fact that I have to the fact that I have to put the smile on my face when inside all I want to do is scream and cry because I'm hormonal for no reason. I'm crying for no reason. I want things that I wanted sushi my whole pregnancy. You couldn't eat sushi. I wanted I don't even like drinking. I wanted a glass of wine my whole pregnancy. Don't even know why. I literally was craving the weirdest things, and to sit there and see that like I couldn't do it and everyone else could.
Yeah.
It made me annoyed to sit at one of my girlfriend's bachelorettes, and I was like,
antsy with
why am I here? I just want to go home.
Yeah.
I didn't feel comfortable. Everyone was in these tight, sexy outfits. I was in a bodycon dress, and I just felt like this fucking Pillsbury Michelin man. It sucked to say it. I was extremely depressed. And listen, it was a miracle. I'm forever grateful and I love my daughter, but it was extremely challenging. I was losing myself. And the other thing is, after you become a mom, let's face it, you lose yourself too. Like, I love my husband more than life itself, but let's face it, he can go back out and play hockey with the guys on Tuesday night.
Yeah.
I gotta shop to my titty.
Yeah.
Where the fuck am I going?
Yeah.
Where the fuck am I going?
Yeah.
So as much as I've gotten my life back, at the end of the day, example, like right now I'm here in this podcast and I'm thinking like, oh my God, did I do this? Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like you forget to be the person that you are. And not to mention, when you also have a mental illness, you also are on medication.
So how did that work? So what is your mental illness that you have, and how did that work with pregnancy?
So I was off medication. I had to go off medication because I was on antipsychotics. And you can't go on antipsychotics when you're pregnant. Or you can, but not the ones that I was on. So I did RTMS treatment. And I'm going to say it's some transmagnetic treatment where I would go every day for 5 minutes. And they would put this almost like diaper over my head. And then they would zap particles of my brain. And it was safe because I would feel now kicking. So I was in the psych ward. I think when I was 6 months pregnant, I spent about 8 weeks there. And,
wow.
And it was very challenging. Everyone's like, oh my God, you must be so excited to be pregnant. And I was like,
wait, so you stayed there overnight for for 6 weeks?
I was there, I think, for 6 or 8 weeks. I was there for 6 or 8 weeks. And it was very challenging being pregnant and dealing with all this because everyone is like, you should be happy. I fucking get it. I know I should be happy, but I'm not happy. And turns out many women that I spoke to were like, I fucking hated being pregnant, but there's so much stigma. And I'm sure people are going to be like, what do you mean? Listen, I'm sure it was fucking great for you, but for me, it wasn't. Am I going to do it again? Absolutely. Am I going to be more mindful of the fact that I might have prenatal depression? Now I'm going to be more careful, and now I'm going to really, really protect my peace when I'm pregnant. Again, if that makes sense. I'm not going to spread myself out because I can't.
And it's almost like if it's this 9-month period of time in your life. So it's maybe for that 9 months, you are shifting your way of doing things. Of course you want to go to a bachelorette and do all those things, but it's almost were you doing it just to do it? You know, I'm sure you wanted to be there, but do you know what I mean? Maybe it's okay, I will stay home for this and that's okay. When I'm not pregnant, I'll be able to go, you know?
Yeah. It being pregnant was extremely, I hate to say it was extremely challenging.
Yeah.
Because again, as you know, I'll be 9 years sober in June. I'll tell you something, I was struggling really hard because, and I'm not going to get too much into it, but I have a lot of childhood trauma. You guys know this. My mom left when I was a child and came back as an adult. So that really, and I'm going to get emotional, really fucked with me. When they told us we were having a girl, my husband got extremely emotional. My response was shit. Because I was like, this little girl's going to have a bond with her mom that I never got. So I was actually envious of the fact that my unborn fetus was going to have a better relationship with her mom than I did. And let me tell you something. Now that I've had my daughter, my relationship with my mom has gotten actually significantly worse.
Oh, I thought you were about to say better.
Worse. It's brought up a lot of things that I thought I worked on that turns out I really didn't.
Well, I guess maybe because, and I'm just guessing, you are giving to your daughter stuff that you were probably you could have easily done this for me.
So it's been Nala has healed wounds.
Yeah.
And has opened up a lot of wounds as well, to be completely transparent with you. It's been the best thing and
Eye-opening.
extremely.
I have a
Well,
question. How did you
That's-
deal
yeah.
with, like, while you were pregnant, looking at people maybe on social media? Because social media affects your mental health and, like, in comparison. When you saw people who were pregnant, like, loving their life, and, like, how did you react? Like, were you like, F you? Like,
I don't know if you noticed, but I left social media. Do you remember? I left and then I just came
so
back.
that was that period.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I left. So it got really bad. I left social media, like completely left everything.
Yeah.
And then I came back when Nala was, I think, 5 months because I was like, you know what, like I'm ready to go back, but I
Yeah.
couldn't. Because everyone's talking about how much they love pregnancy and this and that. And I was like, I hated it. The only thing I kept up with was running and swimming. So that allowed me to kind of
Yeah.
feel like me again. But when you, and I know this because I did have an eating disorder, when you have an eating disorder and you put your pants on and they don't fit anymore, I don't care. People tell me you're growing a body inside you. Shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking my pants don't fit me anymore. I don't give a shit what body's growing inside me.
Yeah.
And the same thing with postpartum. Everyone's like, oh, you look great. Listen, I'm not where I want to be. And then everyone has to understand that, like, I know it's not appropriate for me to want to get back to that, but we
you
have
just
to,
do.
Exactly.
Like, I just do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that brings up another kind of topic that I don't know if you guys can relate to, but like just body image and mental health as well.
Mhm.
Like personally, obviously I've never been pregnant before, but like I can just imagine myself having the worst time because all my life I've been so like up and down with body image. I'll like, I don't know, like I'll work out a lot, but like nothing's changing. Then I'll get in my head and then I'll stop eating and then I'll binge eat. And you know what I mean? So I can like, that's definitely going to play into it in the future for me. So I don't know if you went through that too, but like it's super tough. Like if you ever had body image issues, I don't know if you guys have.
I have before. I'm actually to be totally transparent, I'm actually going through one of my phases now because I feel like my gym goals aren't being met. I'm doing a lot of cardio and a lot of running all my life, and we spoke about this on the podcast before. My family, friends, whatever, like, oh my God, you're so skinny. You're so skinny. You're so, and that has gotten to me now as an adult because I will look in the mirror and be like, fuck, like even though I'm like, I know that I'm not, and like I'm at my goal weight, I'll still look in the mirror and be like, you're too skinny. Like you need to gain weight because everybody would say it to me. So now that I'm going to the gym less, running more, and doing things that I actually love, like soccer, running, and I'm not lifting as much weights, it's starting to get into my head that I'm like, I need to start lifting weights. I need to start eating. I'm on MyFitnessPal now. It's telling me to eat 4,000 calories a day. So I'm stuffing my face trying to gain 10 pounds by June. And then sometimes I have to stop myself and I'm like, what am I doing? And who am I doing this for?
You just made me think of something. So it's so easy to get so caught up in the scale.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, Daniela, why aren't we focusing on numbers that matter? Like, why aren't we focusing on the 2-3 liters of water you're supposed to be drinking a day
Yeah.
versus the number on the scale or other numbers, right? Like, why don't you look at the time because you're late often? Like things
Yeah,
like that,
literally.
you know, like things that make you, not the number on the scale.
Yeah.
But when you mentioned, this is huge because I've never said this publicly and I'm so excited to talk about it. So you mentioned being a kid and people make comments about you.
Yeah.
So I inevitably was a chubbier kid. I was always like, I danced and I was active, but like I was just bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so happy to say this. So I was in grade 6. It was beginning of grade 6, September, October. And, you know, like you dance during the year and then in the summer you're off. So you're going through puberty. I don't know, your body's changing. Like
Yeah.
you're an older kid, whatever. I'll never forget. It was one of my first times back at dance. And my dance teacher, at the end of the dance class, like everybody hugs the teacher and then you go to your next class. He pulled me in to the class and he was like, stay here or go get your mom and come back in. I'm like, okay. Again, you're like 11, 12. Like,
Yeah.
okay. And he looks at me and he goes, Danny, have you realized that you're not able to jump? As if I like wasn't able to jump, okay? Like, and I was like, I just said yeah because I was 11 and I was
Yeah.
You're like,
intimidated.
oh, yeah.
And then he goes, do you know why? And I knew what he was going to say. And I didn't say anything. I sat there. I'm kind of like feeling what I was feeling at the time, actually.
Aw.
And then he looks at me word for word. So he goes, do you know why you can't jump? And I was like, no, I think I hesitated. And then he looks at me word for word and he goes, it's because you gained weight, Danny.
In front of your mom?
Yeah.
Bro.
And I remember
my
just like,
God.
I don't know if I was crying or if I was holding back tears. And
Yeah.
like, sure, it's time to face that, Daniela, grow up. But at the same time, it's like that was right. I don't know. Like I got my period maybe a year and a half later or something like that. Your body's changing. And it was like, I don't know, like even if I did gain a lot of weight, like my body's changing, I'm growing, you're trying to figure it out anyway.
That sticks with
so
you.
I understand what you're saying in terms of what people say when you're a child and how it can affect you as an adult. So now I know, like, if I think logically, I know that I'm not overweight, but if it's still in me.
Yeah.
Of course you look at yourself and you're like, oh my God, I don't know. It's like, I guess it's like in my
embedded in
head.
your identity almost.
Yeah,
Like it's
it
almost
is.
like something, like I was also like chubbier. Like my sister was skinny, okay, and I was like the chubbier one, or like
but we're also
whatever.
from Europeans. Remember, guys, we're also from Europeans, so they fucking judge.
Exactly.
Oh my God, but that is
And-
like. Sorry, continue what you were saying.
And also, I want to touch on the dance thing because I dance too, and I wasn't like the best dancer, but like my parents put me in comp, like whatever. I wasn't like great, but like I did it, and everyone else was so much skinnier, and like they were ballerinas, and they were just like like great. And I remember the same thing. Like people would make comments because like my butt was big or like my hip, like whatever, and I used to eat. I used to eat before comps and then go and make myself throw it up before I would go on stage, which I've never actually said this before, but now I'm sweating because I feel like weird. But
No.
and like that, like the dance culture, and I don't know how you feel about it. Like maybe you had like an amazing like time dancing, but like for me, that like was embedded in my identity and head. Like, oh shit, okay, I can't eat the same way as like other people because like they say I saw my sister, like she was just like always thin, you know what I mean? And even though that's something that she was self-conscious about, I was like, if I ate 2 hot dogs, like I need to go and like relieve myself of it before and it's like similar but different. Like it's embedded in my head even to this day. I'll like, I don't know, be at a function, I'll look at people just like eating casually like the hors d'oeuvres or whatever, and I'm like, it's in my head. I'm like, fuck, if I eat that, I'm gonna get bloated. It's gonna like So it's actually fucking crazy how.
I just think people need, as I get older, I realize it's not normal that family comments on your weights. It's not normal.
No.
It is
But
not.
You were gonna say something. Oh, sorry.
No, I just think the main take, because without even planning anything, we all off the top of our heads had stories about it.
Yeah.
So I think the main takeaway for that is, regardless of your story, we always think that the spotlight's on us. Always. Even now, I walk into a room, I think whether it's
so true.
right. It's not really my weight anymore. But anyway, whether it's the way I speak, the way I look, what I'm doing, etc., what I've done, what I did yesterday and posted on social media, whatever it is, you think the spotlight's on you, but I think it's on me. You think it's on you.
Yeah,
and
like no one gives.
But we're not the main characters. And
No.
like everyone's like, oh my God, paparazzi's watching me. What paparazzi's watching me?
Yeah, like literally no
Who
one
gives a
cares.
shit?
Yeah,
And like
if
if
they
someone
do-
looking at my bloatedness right now, like no one gives a
But
fuck.
if they do, it shows more about who they are and like
Yes.
what they care about and like how superficial they are than like what you are doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know?
You don't know how many times aunts and uncles have been like, oh, this and that. And I was like, listen, simmer down.
Yeah, like
Simmer
relax.
down. Thank you. Can
Yeah.
you see your toes when you look down? No.
It's
true. No, but it's true. I
Like, for
sit
you to
like I sit there and like listen, I don't want to get canceled for saying that. I'm sorry.
No.
With with like all due respect, but like let's not shit on us when we look down. We've also had enough,
yeah.
No.
calzones too. Like, let's be honest.
No, it's
1,
true.
2, 3, 4. You're looking at me. Look at you. Let's.
No, it's actually so true.
This is why I don't get invited to family functions no more. Because I'm the first one to be like, hey.
Excuse me.
Well,
Look
check
at
your-
you.
Check
I'm too
yourself.
scared. I'll be like, yeah. Like,
I got a big mouth
what?
now. I got a big mouth. It's too big. I got to shut it up.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting in trouble.
I want to get into the overuse of some terms, and I think we kind of like talked about it before. But okay, narcissistic, gaslighter, anxiety, and depression.
Oh my God, yes, please. Can I go first?
Yes.
Please. Okay.
Start us off.
I'm so sorry to say this, but like, not every ex is narcissistic. Sometimes just a prick. Like, I'm sorry to say this, but like, is he like this with his boys? No. With his family? No. Just with you. The guy narcissistic, he's a fucking prick. My God. Oh, she's gaslighting me. She's telling you how she feels. That's gaslighting.
That's a good one.
And everyone, I'm the victim. Bro, you go to therapy. My biggest issue with westernized therapy, I'm sorry to say this, I know I'm going to get canceled. Westernized therapy doesn't, listen, you need to hold yourself accountable as well. It takes 2 to tango. You weren't the victim in his story. You were the enemy in his story. You got to accept the fact that you, and not him, but like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
just
You
anyone, yeah.
played a role. and you're going to say to your therapist this and that. Honey, because I've also done that too, where I've played victim. And let me tell you, it's actually prolonged my healing because I'm too embarrassed to say, you know what? I did fuck up. I also caused the ruckus. I was also the warning label. Was he the red flag? Was she the red flag? Yeah, but so was I. And most people go to therapy to put blame on everyone else. They gaslight, there's this or that. No, they didn't. They told you how they felt. They're not they're not narcissistic. They're just a dick.
Yeah.
They're just a dick. So let's stop using the word, oh, I have OCD. Nah, you're fucking particular. You don't have OCD. I have depression. No, you don't. You're sad. You have a moment of sadness. And this what frustrates me is mental health. We all have mental health. Mental illness stops people from getting outside their house. People that have mental illness can't get up from bed and brush their teeth. We all have mental health issues.
There's a distinction, mental health, mental illness.
And we all have health issues. You know what? Sorry. Like we all have mental health issues. But I think when we say, oh, I have OCD, oh, I have this, oh, I have that. No, you don't. You're particular. You like things a certain way. You're not depressed. You're sad. And that's fair to be sad. But you're going to be sad for a moment in time. Depression is your body saying, fuck you, I'm done. There's a difference. I've been sad and I've been depressed.
It's like a state of being.
Yes. Sad is I know when I'm sad and I know when I'm depressed. And when I'm depressed, I'm telling you right now, I smell. I don't care about myself. I don't care about you. I don't care about nobody. This dark cloud over me. When I'm sad, I still give a shit. Do you kind of get the difference between that?
There's a distinction. I was going to say something, but I saw you were about to say something. So
Yes.
you go.
No,
I'm sorry for going off.
No, you're good. I had like so many, go.
Because you were talking about therapy and how people go to therapy and they speak about what everybody else did to them and they're playing victim. I think that in the process of healing, whether it's through a relationship or a friendship or a job, whatever it is, for people to get over things, oftentimes they victimize the other person because, for lack of a better term, they have to hate you to kind of love themselves again. And I think that's why people play victim, truthfully. So that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, I agree.
I like personally in therapy, I've done that too. Like even about my own sister, I'd be like, she's this, she's that, or like I'm just using her as an example, like whatever.
I already know she
and like,
in theory.
and like,
okay, so do I, so it's fine.
And my therapist won't.
I love you guys.
I know. It's good. I love it.
My therapist won't be like, yeah, your sister's a fucking bitch. You know what I mean? Like she kind of helped me recognize that like it's about my reactions too. And I realized about myself, like I can get like triggered really easily because like I feel like all my life I've felt like I need to be the like just in my family life and like just whatever, even with friends, I want to mediate everything. I want to make sure people aren't fighting. Like don't like no, like I'm going to control it. So like if my sister pisses me off or someone pisses me off, I immediately get triggered and like angry. So that's like to your point, I'm recognizing that about myself instead of being like, no, my sister's just a like whatever, a bitch. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's really true.
Well, sometimes I'll complain about my brother and then I'll complain about my boyfriend that they're like doing something similar. And I'm like, well, Danella, maybe it's you actually.
Oh my God,
that's
I've had that.
That's like triggered by the same thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then you look internally and you're like, oh. So
I've had that
me.
situation where I complain about Sam and then somebody else. And I'm like, and they reacted the same and like nobody else does it but them two. And my therapist says, well, you're the common denominator in that situation. So what did you do wrong? And I'm like, okay, yes.
What did you do wrong? Did you establish?
Yes, but I'm not going to talk about that.
Okay.
So.
It took me 30 years to realize that I was the warning label for a lot of things, which was hard to stomach. But you know what? It was the best thing I ever did.
That's how you grow.
To realize, you know what? Like they fucked up, but I fucked up too.
Yeah.
You know what I
That's
mean?
100%.
So yeah.
I want to get into loneliness in adulthood. You kind of talked about it in terms of pregnancy, but I want to know if like you guys, like how you felt it, relationships, maybe like friendships. I have my thoughts, but like I know you guys, or you wanted to talk about something. So you guys.
I can go first, I guess, which I'm kind of scared to talk about this, but it's fine. I've never Sam's always like, why don't you talk about on the podcast your breakup? And like everyone knows that you're going through a breakup. I'm like, because again, it's my ego. I don't want people knowing my business in terms of like, there's a stigma out there that if you talk about it for a longer period of time than you're supposed to, you're not over it. Or like,
I'll talk about it too, so don't worry.
You haven't moved on. It's like, no, that's not the case. I want to share like how my breakup experience and what, not the details of what happened, but just how I felt because it can help somebody else. And it's also therapeutic as fuck to talk about it with people.
Yeah.
So, okay. So I went through a long-term breakup. We were dating for 3 years.
A long-term relationship.
Sorry, a long-term relationship. And we were dating for 3 years. The reason why I feel loneliness or that it goes back to self-discovery is because I entered this relationship at 22. I am now 25, turning 26. And the person, I look back and even in therapy, the person I was at 22 entering this relationship is like a whole different Fran. Like I want to look at her and like hug her and be like, you're different now, but in a
Yes.
good way. Not just maybe physically I look the same, but like maturity wise, personality wise, what I value, what I like, what I don't like. Like I do respect myself a lot more. So loneliness for me when it comes to like a breakup, it's refinding myself, but at a different point in life when I thought my life was going to be with somebody, with a person forever and ever and ever. And then you see people get engaged and then you see people get married and buy a house. And I'm like, I was supposed to be doing that in the next like 1, 2, 3 years. And now I have to start all over again with somebody else. With my mindset right now is like, don't fucking talk to me. Like, I don't want to speak to anybody. Like, I want to be in solidarity. I can't even picture myself. I'm only sweating my armpits.
I know you're like, are you good?
Sorry, guys. I'm like,
No,
gotta
it's
smooth this
great.
out.
Well,
Whatever.
well,
I'm in that
sweating.
loneliness
It was
stage
hot.
right now where I almost like want to be in solidarity. So I'm like voluntarily putting myself in that loneliness stage, but I know that I have to get out of it eventually in order to meet people and connect. So that's where I'm kind of like in terms of loneliness is
Mhm.
just navigating how I get back to Fran, but Fran at 26 years old, not Fran at 22 years old.
Yeah, it's completely different.
And doing it without somebody who I thought that like I would end up marrying or being with.
Yeah, and a lot of times, like in those scenarios, you kind of they say like wake up and choose who you want to be. I don't know. Every hour I'm different.
Literally.
Yeah.
You know, truthfully. And so I think it's important to let yourself ride those waves. And like even I was in a relationship it started when I was 17 years old. I'm now 25.
Wow.
Like you're a completely
Yeah.
different person, and
Mhm.
you either grow together or you grow apart, and that's kind of just life, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The other people talk about breakups, and what I've noticed for me personally is people would check in like the day after the breakup,
Yeah, like, how do you think I'm doing?
and then like I don't know, months later I was like, guys, it still hurts, like it's all
But they say
yeah.
you should be moved on by now. Are you not moved on? Are you not like over it? I'm like, it's grief. It's literally
It's
stages
just-
of grief that comes and goes.
I think also a big part of it is because you become integrated with that person's friends, their family,
Oh, yeah.
and everything around it, their community. And then also naturally when you're younger, you have a bigger community, high school, friends,
Yeah.
everybody's around. So then you go through a breakup when you're older, you lose that person, you lose their community, you lose their friends, and then you're by yourself. So then that led me to Run Club, truthfully, because I was running alone and it was nice and it was therapeutic and it was great. And I'd be by myself for 4 hours at a time. And then eventually I'm like, wait, now I'm lonely.
Yeah.
How do I find my community? And then I started running with people. But
Mhm.
anyway, that kind of went from one thing to the other.
No,
but
No,
that's-
that
that
connects
connects,
because
yeah.
like finding yourself in loneliness means that like you're trying to connect with the community. You know what I mean? There's so many other people going through whether they're pregnant and they're feeling lonely because it's like I'm the only one pregnant in my friend group. It's like, what am I going to do? Maybe like connect with other people, whether you're going through a breakup, you know what I mean? Like connect with other people, but it's not like two people going through, like, let's say you guys both were going through a breakup at the same time and you both knew that you were going through a breakup at the same time, like just hypothetically.
Mhm.
It's not like, maybe you would, but it's not like a common thing to be like, oh, we're both going through a breakup. Let's talk about it. If you're not like
Yeah.
best friends, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
It's almost like why don't we talk about it? Do you know what I'm trying to say? I don't know
I
if that
think
makes
like
sense, but
everybody, I think it's very difficult because there's this stigma that everybody has to be confident all the time. And sure, it's
Yeah.
attractive to be confident. Of course it is. But why can't we be vulnerable at the same time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're in it, it's very, very difficult to tell. It's very scary to tell. It's nerve wracking.
Yeah.
And I think I was in a very similar position. I mean, we weren't engaged, but I was in a very similar position because he was fantastic. But at the end of the day, it's like leaving very similarly, it's like leaving a job. The job can be great. It could be great pay, but if you're not aligned,
Mhm.
I look at it as like you're together with somebody for X amount of years or X amount of months. Honestly, time doesn't matter. But you're together with somebody for so long, but then you think in the trajectory of your life, I still have another 75 years to live. Like, how can you just be caught in this short amount of time?
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things,
Mhm.
right?
So true.
Our childhood
true, like
trauma,
that.
I find, plays a really big
Huge.
role
It's
in dating. And many
crazy.
people, and this is why in relationships you have to be honest with your partner and explain, I'm struggling because my inner child right now is coming out
Yeah.
and it's feeling
screaming.
yeah, and that's kind of one thing that I like respect about my husband is we can both openly be like, listen, 5-year-old Mary right now feels this way as opposed to the 30-year-old Mary kind of thing. And it's important for the both of you to just understand, like, the trauma that's coming out and what's surfacing isn't because of your partner, it's because of your childhood trauma. And if your partner can understand that and you can understand that, the argument and the discussion will be easier to comprehend and understand because you both understand that it's not your present person, it's your past person coming into your present life. If that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Like, am I making sense or am I just sounding a little bit off right now?
No, that makes sense. And something I do want to mention when you said childhood trauma that, like, I didn't realize is my therapist said there's big T trauma and then little T trauma, because I was telling her about, like, just things that I didn't feel right calling trauma, because there's people who your mom left you. There's people who have been abused physically. And I didn't have any of those experiences. So I felt weird being like, yeah, I have trauma. But, like, I do. You know what I mean? So just for people listening too, like, that's what we're trying to cultivate here. Just, like, talking about things that you feel like have triggered you or have, like, brought up things in your adulthood is okay. Like, even if you feel like it's small comparative to someone else, it's all relative to your life.
I have to say this.
Yeah.
So just a little story. So when I was at Jay Shetty on Wednesday, at the end of the presentation, he was doing a meditation with everybody. And he said, close your eyes. So we all closed our eyes and the room was silent. And he said, picture the hardest day of your life. So I pictured it. And he said, describe it in one word. And the one word that I had was, like, scared. I just felt scared. I felt unsafe. It was uncertain. So those are 3 words, but I was thinking I was scared. Then he said, picture the happiest day of your life. Truthfully, I didn't think about the happiest day. I thought about, like, the happiest moments. And for me, he said, describe it in one word. And for me, it was safe. And I was like, those are 2 opposite words. Scared and safe are 2 opposite words. So then that raised...
Sorry, you got me crying.
Oh my God.
That just reminds me of childhood trauma. It brought me to it because with my current boyfriend, he truthfully heals all of my wounds. He just does. Like, my happiest times, I just feel so safe. I don't know how else to explain it. It's like nothing else matters when it's 2 of us.
And I think I feel the same way with Roman. It doesn't even need to just be your partner. Like, for me, it's that. For you, it's that. It could be your daughter. It could be, like,
Mine are my dogs.
It could be your dogs.
Mine
It could
are
be
literally
your
my
friends.
dogs.
It could be, like, your friendship with Mel, let's say, or, like, it could, these certain things in your life. Like, we're talking about, like, trauma and stuff, but that was such a good point. Like thank you, Jay Shetty, I guess. Like, think about those things that, like, give you life, and, like, everyone's like, what are you grateful for? But sometimes on the daily, it's hard to be like, I'm grateful for my bed. You know what I mean? So thinking about it in that respect, like, what makes me feel safe is so, like, I don't know, profound.
As much as it's scary, though, like, this is going to sound so cliche, but you have to be your number one because you're the only person living with you every second of your life.
You're your only constant.
It's true.
It sucks to say that, like, people could leave, things can happen. Like, you're the only person that is going to be with you throughout 24/7.
It's also just like we all have great friends. Mel, fantastic. Love her. What would we do without Mel? We don't know. But I'm saying, if in any moment, say at work, you're super stressed, if anything happens in your life, you're the only person that can calm you down in that very second.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's your responsibility to take care of yourself.
That's
No,
very
it
true.
is.
And to that point, because this time went by so fast, I want to go around and talk about, like, what's one thing you guys do to take care of yourself? Like, I don't always like to use the term self-care because I feel like it's one of those words that's been, like, blown up into, like, but, like, what do you do to actually, like, care for your mental, your emotional, your spiritual? And not necessarily, it doesn't need to be like, oh, a bath. Maybe it is, but you go first.
Honestly,
A bath.
this is, like, so nothing, but water before coffee in the morning. It's nothing. It's just like, Daniela, it is the easiest thing. Yeah,
No,
if you can do, like, I'm talking a glass of water. I'm not talking 3 liters of water. Just meet yourself here, and that's it. It doesn't matter if you're having the worst day, the best day, whatever it is. Water before coffee. I know it. Yeah,
No,
very
it's
simple.
I recently switched to water with, like, some minerals in it before my coffee. Life changing in every area. Okay, go.
Mine's a bit more, like, not spiritual, but it's not like a tangible thing that you do. I've just been trying to do more things alone. Like, for example, your run. I went to you were with me, but
Yeah,
I mean, I feel like I would have done it eventually, but I just feel like that's something where like I label myself as interpersonal. Like I'm not social. I don't make friends easily. I've put this label on myself for like the longest time that I can remember. And now that like I need to force myself to kind of get back out there, I've been doing things like run clubs. I did a 5 kilometer dog cancer run that was so random, but I did it because like I love dogs and I've been liking to run again. So I think just doing things for myself, but I will say 5-minute journal. But actually taking time in the morning to like reflect and just be with myself and paper. It doesn't even have to be like prompts, just me like brain dumping has helped me.
Okay, I have two things because I do want to say something about the run. So the first thing is breathing. I know that sounds so dumb, but like I forget to breathe. Like even in the car on the way here, I'm like this. I'm like clenched and I'm like, okay, I need to breathe. And like I've just realized that I have this like anxiety all the time. And I'm listening to these meditations and things that are prompting me to like breathe through my diaphragm and deep breathe. So that's one thing I'm trying to like just take care of my being. Second thing is I'm trying to like push myself in different areas and actually push myself. Going to your run thing, I actually would have never done that. I felt so self-conscious because not like I felt very empowered at the end, but while I was running, I was like, I feel like everyone here is a runner. Like everyone who was running was a runner. Maybe not. Like I was probably I was probably just in my head, but I was getting so tired. And I don't run. So, like, I've never ran 5K. And I've never even ran, like, 2K, like, straight
That makes me so happy. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, no, thank you for doing it because, like, my sister obviously asked me to do it. I was like, yeah, why not? Like, 5K. Like, I didn't realize how hard it was. So, when I was doing it, I was, like, about to cry. I was like, oh, my God, I really want to fucking stop. But everyone's still running. And I'm like, I don't want to stop. I'm going to be a fucking loser. Like, that's how I talk to myself. But I shouldn't. Because by the end of it, I was like, I feel so good. I was so red at the end. I was sweating so much. I feel like everyone else was just chill, but I was so proud of myself because I was like, holy shit, like I pushed myself. And it was because like I wasn't trying to compete with other people, but like they were more so like empowering me by the end, you know? It wasn't like, oh my God, I need to run faster than her. It's like, I just want to like finish this with them, you know? And like before that, but also after that, I kind of took that feeling into the gym, into like even just like finishing my meals fully because like I'm trying to fuel myself. Do you know what I mean? So it's just like taking care of myself in that way and really pushing myself. So that's just like a blip in time where I really like recognize it. So thank you for putting it together. Your turn. That was like
no, I loved
that.
That meant a lot to me.
Okay, so fuck, it's kind of dark. Shit.
No.
So fuck. So I wake up every morning. I'll call it a spade, extremely suicidal. Like every day I wake up, I want to die. So I have to go for a run, literally, which is why every morning you guys see me running 5 to 10 kilometers. I have to go for a run every day because it's my time where, as messed up as this sounds, the reason why I like to run is because it's a different outlet for me to feel some kind of like physical, not pain, but some kind of physical movement, if that makes sense. So in the mornings when I wake up, and truthfully, all I want to do is, sorry to trigger, like end my life. Once I get out and I run, even if it's 5 kilometers, I come back and I feel like $1 million.
Alive.
Yes, I feel so alive because I get outside. I can feel my feet hit the pavement. I can feel the wind, and it's these little moments that get me where I'm like, you know what, Mary, like it's gonna be a good day. And it's crazy because every day I wake up with the same fucking thought and I keep on running, and it's literally like running has saved my life. And it's crazy because in the psychiatric ward every day, which we're going to get into it, community walks. Every day you had wellness walks. It was an hour wellness walk. And it was every morning. And when we would get out there and we'd go walk the Sunnybrook Stables and Sunnybrook Park and we came back, you could just sense this light in all of us because we all woke up fucking all wanting to sayonara.
Yeah.
And then we all got on this walk and we all come back from the walk and it was as if we forgot what happened that morning or the mornings that we wake up.
It was like you like actually woke up after the walk, right?
Yes.
It was almost like that was like when you're actually waking up.
Yes, and like those same thing when I run. I don't brush my teeth, I don't drink water, nothing. I put my clothes on and I go for my run. And then when I come back, I brush my teeth, drink my water, all that stuff.
It's like you actually like got it. Yeah, it's like wow. That's
I love that.
pretty wild.
Yeah, so that's Sorry to get dark there.
No,
for a
no,
second.
that was such a good
I'm sorry to get dark there, but yeah, it when you wake up and those demons are really in your face, the best thing to do is run with the demons because eventually when you run with the demons are going to get you tired because you get too tired. So when your mind gets too tired, your demons get too tired. So therefore, you leave the run with a runner's high, which I'm sure Daniela knows the runner's high.
Yes.
You end up leaving fucking feeling like $1,000,000. I did the half marathon 2 weeks ago. I woke up in the morning not feeling the greatest, finished my run in 2 hours and 5 minutes.
Wow.
I was as if I had literally fucking
You guys
Good
run
job.
for 2 hours? Like,
Daniela and I are like, well,
Okay. No, but it
Daniela runs
feels
longer though. She
good.
does longer though. She does full marathons.
No, I
only do
actually
half.
like
She
that
does
is a goal
full.
of mine.
that's
I hit the
crazy.
5K goal. It seems small to runners, but like it was actually
No,
so
it's-
hard for me.
it's not.
It's not small. Hold on. Everyone starts off with their first 5K first. So don't think.
I started during COVID 3 kilometers, then I did 4 kilometers. Then I'm
Sa-
like,
Same.
maybe I can do 5.
Same.
Then I can do 7. If I can do 7, I can do 10.
Yeah.
By next year, I want to do that the one that you did, like the maybe not the 10K. Is there
The-
anything? The Toronto Marathon.
Oh, okay. So they have full, half, 10, and 5.
I want to do 10 by
10,
next
okay.
year.
Amazing.
Okay, so
I
then
feel like
how-
that's an
Yeah.
okay
So
goal.
how about we all make it a goal where I'm sure you'll run the full, I'll run the half.
I
you
don't
run
think
the
I'm
10.
gonna. I don't know.
You
Actually,
don't
I
know.
don't know, but I could be there if you guys want.
But maybe we could all yeah.
Little goal. Okay, so before we wrap this up, I just want to bring it back to community. Fran and I are very grateful for our community that like we fostered, and I think the podcast has given us a lot of confidence, and we're really grateful for everyone who's watching and like tuning in, and everyone and like you guys for coming here and like just like
Yes.
believing in our platform enough to be able to like speak about it. So thank you for that.
I still have my first toque from you guys.
Oh my god.
I still run with that toque in the wintertime. Yes, I do.
Mary, I want to cry. I forgot about
That's
that.
really
too.
cute.
I
We need
still
to
have
make
the
new
toque.
merch
Oh,
though.
yeah, we do.
I still love the toques.
That's really
I'm
cute.
sorry to cut you guys off. I just thought
No,
about
that's
the
it. I
toque.
just
My
wanted
dad
to-
actually made that for us.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he's my
Amazing.
favorite person. No offense to you two. I love him more than you
We'll
guys.
send him this clip.
Tell him, please.
So happy.
I just want to call out the community we're grateful for. You guys, what community are you grateful for? I know you kind of said your running community. You kind of said that too, but like, how has it actually helped you? And
Mhm.
like, yeah,
Love this topic. This is very, very relevant. So I feel like I now spend more time downtown more than I ever used to, and I grew up 30 minutes north of downtown. So everybody that I know, my family, my friends, everybody's in where my home is.
Mhm.
So now that I'm downtown, it's more difficult. I had to, again, put myself out there to make other friends. And there's a difference between making friends and then making friends that you can actually relate to and
Oh,
develop
yeah.
strong connections with.
right.
So, and I grew up in a dance community. Like we are, there's nobody closer. Like, you know, everything about everybody. Anyway, so how did I find my community? Was that the question?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
And like, how does it, like, what does it mean to you, sort of thing?
okay, yeah. So I found, as we speak today, I found my community through running, through run clubs. What does it mean to me? I think my whole life, I think it's hard for me to relate to people because I think that there are so many different dynamic aspects of myself, whether they're positive or negative. So in this running community, I find we all have a common denominator where it's a lot of people run just to feel good. Of course, you care about time sometimes and you want to be outside, sure. But a lot of people run to feel good, whether it's mentally, whether it's physically, whatever it is. So I think that a lot of people share a very similar story. So that's what's made me feel part of a community, truthfully.
Love it.
that.
My community, I would say maybe two, maybe the running and the mental health community.
Mm-hmm.
And my goal is to bring them hand in hand because the one thing in the psych ward, which I always refer to the psych ward, that's because I spent too many years there.
Right.
They are very big on moving your body. Social medias put moving your body for aesthetics, to get your fucking six pack, to get your fucking big booty, to get this, to get that. No, moving your body was designed for your mind. Originally, the reason why people moved their body years ago was for their mind. Why do we see all these old people walking around the malls? For their mind,
Yes.
for their health. It's for
So
everything.
true.
But we believe big booty, big this, big that, this, shaky, shaky. And I'm all about it too. I love it. But that's not why I don't want to say work out, why we move our body. We move our body so our mind feels better. And our goal is to connect the running community and the mental health community together because the majority of people that run might not know it, but they run for their mental health
Mhm.
because they actually feel good after.
Mm-hmm.
Daniela, I'm sure when you run after, you're like, fuck, I feel like $1,000,000.
Oh yeah,
You
100%. So want to add to that and just say it's not easy every time. I say I can run 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers, 15, whatever it is, that thought before I go for a run, it never gets easier. I'm never like, okay, let's go now. I'm like, oh my God,
Yeah.
I don't want to do this. And it's not always easy. But the one reason why I like it is because I believe that my body will run. The only thing that's stopping me is my mind. And I think that's an attainable challenge for a lot of people. And so that's
Mind
why a
over
lot of people
matter.
also like, exactly, because it's like my engine's only going to stop if I tell it to. So we have to
Yeah.
keep going. And I think that's how a lot of people handle things, because in your life, whether it's work, relationships, friends, whatever it is, a lot of times, a lot of things are out of your control. But when you're running, it's you and your body and you're in full control. So I think that's also something else that's helped me.
And I think beyond running, walking, just like how you take care of your body
Yep.
is how you take care of your mind. And it's like you said, like getting out, it's not going to cure everything, but like it brings you a sense of community. It brings you a sense of peace. And like that's what we're really trying to cultivate here. So speaking about community and all of this and all of our journeys with mental health, we are actually putting together a little initiative. We're going to do a mental health walk/run on the morning of May 31st in Kleinberg. All donations for this run/walk will go to
The Sunrise CAMH Challenge, which I'm so excited about because, as most of you know, CAMH is actually where I got clean. So to be able to donate back fully to a place that got me literally standing here today is pretty fucking awesome, if you ask me.
So we're going to have a 5-kilometer run route and a 3-kilometer walk route, starting and stopping at a cafe. We will release the details for that. But everybody's welcome. Moms, dads, brothers, sisters, dogs, babies, everybody. Come if you're willing to, and we're excited to see you.
Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. Daniela, thank you so much for coming on, being vulnerable. Mary, of course, thank you so much for
We love you.
sharing. And
We'll see you in the next one.
yeah.